As a transformation coach and existential counselor, I work with a lot of people who come to me feeling like it's hard for them to stay on track in life. It's hard for them to stay focused on one path. They keep trying things and losing interest, trying something else, doubting that path, feeling FOMO. Would I be happier on another path? Is this really right for me? What's the right thing? Right? And this applies to a lot of ENTPs, ENFPs, INTPs. As an ENTP myself, I spent many years dealing with this. And in this video today, I want to offer you 3 core approaches to dealing with this problem. The first one is to not rely too much on what you hear from other people, what you hear about the best practices, what a good life is supposed to look like, what the best system is supposed to look like, or the best process, or the best approach. Especially if you are one of those personality types, like me, you're someone who's really into learning. Right? Maybe you read a lot of books, you listen to a lot of podcasts, and it's really easy to be seduced by these messages of, here's the best way. All you have to do is do this, and you'll be happy. Right? But the truth is that we're all on our own individual life paths. We all have our own complex, unique identity, our own set of life experiences. And so my first tip is to really try to understand your own patterns. What is it specifically that happens when you're going along one path that's feeling good and then you suddenly lose interest? You suddenly get apathetic. You suddenly lose your energy. What exactly is going on there? So, one way to do this is to keep a journal or a spreadsheet with columns for different things like, today I got good sleep. Today I exercised. Today I focused a lot of time on my own creative projects. Today I worked from a coffee shop. Whatever it is, and then you log different experiences, like trying to do the same type of task different days. One day it feels easy, one day you feel motivated, but the other day the same task feels really hard. So figuring out which of those variables applies that makes it feel more doable one day and less doable the other day. For me, one of the big things I realized after a while of tracking this was how important social connection is to me. For me, I get surprisingly drained when I haven't connected with another person for a while. So it's really easy for my mind to get in the state of super focus on a task or a project, and then it kind of creeps up on me after a while. If I suddenly feel depleted, I suddenly feel like I don't like this anymore, and then I realize, oh wow, I haven't seen a friend in a while. So one easy solution here is just going for really micro moments of interaction. So going to a coffee shop and just spending a few seconds chatting with the barista. How's your day going? Just that, I've found, can be enough to rejuvenate me sometimes. And that's just me. I'm an extrovert, right? So if you're an introvert or a different type, you might have a different pattern. So spend some time really analyzing what is going on in my life when things feel good and solid, when I feel motivated, what's going on when they don't. And through that knowledge, you can start to build habits and systems to keep you on track more often and fill your life with more of the things that nourish you and less of the things that drain you. Tip number 2 is at a more fundamental level. This is kind of the Buddhist approach, recognizing that life is full of challenges. It's going to be ups and downs, right? And so a lot of, much of the control that we have in life is really just on how we approach each moment, right? Our mindset and our framing. So at the end of the day, so much of life is outside our control, right? Stuff just happens. But we can control how we respond. And we can practice accepting the present moment as it is, accepting reality as it is. Because the reality is that life is ups and downs. It's a wave, right? And so, especially if you're an analytical thinker type, like me, someone who really loves designing and optimizing systems, what that analytical brain is going to tell you is if you keep working at it, if you keep painstakingly getting all the best practices in place, listening to all the podcasts, if you design your life perfectly, you're going to be able to stay at the high the whole time, right? And that's a lie. Because the truth of life is it's always a wave, just like nature. The tide goes in, the tide goes out. The wind blows that way, it blows that way, right? And so you're the same way. Some days are just going to be hard days. Some days are going to be amazing days. And some of it you can control with those variables I mentioned earlier, but some of it you just can't control. Sometimes you get sick. Sometimes a loved one dies. Sometimes you win the lottery, right? Sometimes things just happen. And so a big part of staying on track and feeling motivated and good in life is practicing accepting your circumstances. In Buddhism, we call it equanimity, being equanimous. It's kind of like calm or serene, but there's kind of an extra quality to it of non-attachment, of kind of saying, well, sure, I can orient my compass to try to move in a certain direction, to try to make an outcome happen. But at the end of the day, other factors are going to be at play that might end up making that outcome not happen. So all I can control is taking those steps toward it, right? And equanimity means being a little less attached to the outcome. You can try your best to go toward it, right? But sometimes it's not going to work out, right? So sometimes you might be at the top of your wave of joy, and then it's going to drop. And that just happens sometimes. So part of the practice here is recognizing that that is inevitable. That's how life works. So when you're at a high, when you're feeling life is amazing, it's perfect, I want it to stay like this forever. That's a signal. Anticipate it's going to drop. Maybe I feel great today, tomorrow I might not, and that's okay. But if tomorrow's really hard, I'm at the bottom, also reminding yourself it's not going to stay like this forever. Maybe in a few hours, it's going to go up again. Right? So that's a natural flow of life. And the easiest way to practice equanimity is just focus on feeling your body in the present moment. Because the mind is what takes you away to the future, the what if, worrying about the past, the future, right? If you come back to the present moment, there's no anxiety. You're not worrying about that because you're just only in right now. Right now is okay. Right now is okay. So you can feel your feet on the ground. You can take a breath, just feeling your body. That's how you get to the present moment. That's how you practice equanimity. Tip number 3. On the one hand, with number 2, we're practicing acceptance, right? But that's not to say that you're not allowed to take your life into your own hands, right? It's not just saying accept everything exactly as it is, even if you're unhappy. Number 3 is saying zoom out and check, is my life going the way that I want it to? Am I on the right path? What is my purpose? What are my values? Am I living aligned with my values? Am I on track toward where I think the meaning of life is? Right? So that's the more spiritual, existential work of figuring out, is the reason that I keep getting discouraged from these projects or these jobs or whatever because they're not actually aligned with what I really care about? Is there a way that I can reorient, reframe my current job, my current relationship, my current living situation, whatever it is, so that it's more value aligned? And you can do this in small ways. Maybe your life purpose you've decided is to offer as much compassion as you can to others. Cool. Can you do that in your current job? Can you do that as you're walking down the street? But you can also look at it in bigger ways. Right? What do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to be remembered for? What do I want to be written on my tombstone? How do I get closer to that? How do I take steps toward that kind of impact, whatever that work is? And so could that be why you keep shifting course, why it feels like you keep getting bored or you keep doubting yourself? Because you're not actually aligned. And, that's way easier said than done, right? It's hard work. So if you need help with that part, I'll put a link in the top comment to my comprehensive guide that I've written on that topic, how to find your life purpose and dream career. So again, those 3 tips are: work to understand your own patterns, how you work, instead of what other people say are the best practices or approaches, and then design habits and systems to make that easier for you, to get more of those good things in your life, so you can track the variables to figure out what really impacts you the most. Number 2 is practice acceptance, practice equanimity. Remember the wave. When you're at the top, it's probably going to go down soon. When you're at the bottom, it's probably going to go up soon. And all that's okay. It's the natural in and out of life. And you can practice equanimity through getting back to the body. Number 3, get clear on your values, your life purpose, your meaning, and make sure you're aligned. Get as close as you can to that, even just taking little steps toward it throughout your day. I hope that helps, and I wish you a nourishing day.